Thanks, Austin. If you sat in the back row, you have to volunteer to be my Vanna, okay? Because I'm going to need a writer. I'll try, but my handwriting is, I don't know. So how many of you go on vacation? Well, I feel sorry for those of you that did not raise your hand. But I went on vacation a couple years ago to the beach. And we usually go every year to Perdido for 1 week. And it happens to be the week that my husband goes to a conference. So we couple family vacation with a conference. Well, 2 years ago, the conference was the week before we were scheduled to go on vacation. So what do you think I did? I went for 2 weeks. I mean, like every crazy person, I took 2 weeks off work and I went to the beach, had a great time, but entirely too long to be at the beach and away from work. On the morning that I was coming home, so mind you, I've been gone 14 days, I get a phone call from our dog sitter. We're packing up the beach house, ready to get home. I want to get home just as much as I want to leave for vacation usually. So I'm anxious to get home, and he says, "Miss Cat." And I go, "Yes. I took your mail into the house this morning and I heard water running." And I said, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." And he goes, "I looked downstairs and it was flooded." And I'm like, "Oh, that definitely doesn't sound good." Who wants to go home after being gone for 2 weeks to a flooded house? No one. Well, I was in a panic because I need a vacation after vacation, and I didn't want to go into that. So I panicked and called our insurance agent, who told me to call someone. I don't think I can say the name because we're being videotaped, but y'all, while I was gone, on the way home, this company went into my house. They pulled up all the carpet. They got all the water out. Now, we aren't home and we have no permission. We can't grant them access to the house. The dog sitter let them in. But they took care of everything, and they set up 15 fans that almost cost me a nervous breakdown because they are very loud for 3 days. But when I walked into that house that night, guess what I had? Not a flooded downstairs. Is that good customer service? How could it have ended? Could have ended with me walking into the house, dealing with a flooded area. Y'all, it smells. Have you ever smelled water that sat there for three days? Well, by the time we got in, it didn't smell, but what's the moral to that story? Hire my dog sitter? No. It is good customer service. That company could have just as easily said, "Ma'am, it's Saturday morning, you're not there, we're gonna have to wait till Monday morning to come to you. You have to be there when we go in your house, that's a liability." So I don't wanna say their name, I don't wanna get them in trouble. But they could have easily done that. So you all have all had good customer service experiences, right? And you've all had bad customer service experiences. I wanna spend a few minutes talking about what those are. And if you notice, because I am not a presenter, I am a facilitator. Thank you, where's Cheryl? Cheryl gave me that word today. I'm a facilitator, and I want to have a conversation today about customer service and just having a customer in general. So I want you to take a few minutes and think about the beginning of that worksheet that I've given you, and think about some good customer service experiences that you've had, why you thought they were good customer service experiences. And then I also want you to think after you've thought about positive things, about some poor experiences that you've had and why they were poor experiences. You can name the companies or people that were good, but please don't name the ones that are bad. All right, y'all spend just about 3 minutes. Write some of those down. All right, y'all, I'm sure we could all talk all day long about our good and bad customer service experiences, but in the essence of time, we're gonna move on. I hope you enjoyed that. And does anyone have what they think might be the best customer service experience story that they wanna share? Okay.
So we started looking for a home about 5 years ago. I'm very particular about things, and so is my husband, which two totally different ends of the spectrum. we hired a a realtor, and she ended up moving and suggested a second one, and she helped us look for 3 years to find a home that we just bought.
Y'all are hard to please. I don't know if that says something about customer service or y'all, but yes, it does. That's very good.
She helped us look, and we finally bought a house last April.
Yay, congrats. How about a poor quality customer service experience without mentioning who or what entity? Anyone think they have the best story?
A customer service counter at an airport,
Oh,
and it was already just like kind of chaotic anyway because our flight had arrived 3 hours late because of thunderstorms at GTR. And when I was trying to, ask that man about the diverting our flights and all of that, and I couldn't quite understand him because I do have a hearing loss. And I kept asking him, to repeat himself. And then my husband walked up, and so I started explaining to my husband, and the man put his hand up into my face and said, "Not talking to you no more. I'll only deal with your husband. You don't listen, And I just looked at him and I said, "I'm hard of hearing. I'm not stupid." And my husband told him the same thing. He said, "You need to deal with my wife. My wife is the one that made all the reservations and all that." But he didn't appreciate him talking to his wife like that. And I mean, just to have somebody put their hand in my face and tell me
Right.
they weren't going to talk with me anymore because I wasn't listening.
God, how many people have had that happen? Maybe not the hand, but I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Kaput, we're done. Well, I want y'all to put little nugget of wisdom in your head about what y'all talked about and some of the thought process that went into your good and bad experiences, and we're going to come back to it. But we're going to get into the meat of what a customer is and what customer service is. So, what is a customer? Anybody know? Oh, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we just did. Sorry. What is a customer? Anyone?
who seeks help or guidance from you.
Anyone who seeks help or guidance from you. That's good. Anyone else?
Anyone that you or someone else serves?
Anyone that you serve? Like back in the day, you think of customer as you go to the store, you have money, and you exchange it for items. But it's so much broader now, isn't it? I'd say a person that one has to deal with. But Daryl and I spoke about this, and we don't like the word deal. So what's a nicer way we could say that? That you get to deal with? Interact with? Yeah, just somebody that you have to communicate with and reach a resolution, right? So that is a customer. All right. So when you think about who your customers are, it's not just an exchange at the Dollar General of goods and money, right? When you think of who are your customers internally and externally, that could be a number of people. So I want y'all to spend just 1 minute writing down 3 of your customers that you have internally or externally. You don't have to list a name if you don't want to. It could be a group, a department, a company, organization, anything. Just to be thinking about who your customers are. I wrote down some of mine, but honestly, it's so much more than that. If you think about customers, it's almost every person you interact with. Like, my kids could be my customers one day. My husband could be my customer. I deal with parents and students every day, which makes me deal with a lot of different departments on campus because we're like Google search engine in our office, and we answer a broad array of questions and help students and parents navigate through the system. So we have a lot of customers. I also think our coworkers are our customers when we're interacting with them. Our coworkers, our bosses, the folks that report to us, these are all customer interactions that we need to think of. I know I didn't capture them all. Does anybody have any other customers, like groups that they deal with that I missed? Community applicants, so people that are being hired, they're all your customers. Anyone else? Donors, definitely customers, like kid glove customers. You got to treat them. Kid gloves.
Corporations.
Corporations outside of the university. I deal with vendors all the time. We purchase things. Airmark, they're our customer. We're their customer. So what is customer service when you think about it? Think about the beginning of today when I talked about my story, y'all talked about your stories with good and poor experiences. And this is where I need Vanna White, what are some of the traits and skills that you thought of when you thought of defining customer service? Should we try to write them down, or are there going to be way too many? We could write some of them down. Y'all don't be shy.
Acknowledge someone.
Acknowledge? Oh my
Like
God.
if you go to a restaurant and like if you sit down and someone doesn't acknowledge you in a certain time frame or
Oh, I told you I'd be bad, y'all, because I'm writing really small. Sorry. So just paying attention to them.
Listening skills.
Ooh, listening. That's huge. Can y'all even see that? Daryl, your handwriting's much better. I'm sorry. Eye contact. So just your body language, can we say that? Oh yeah. I love empathy. Patience. Y'all are getting some of my big ones. All right.
Fairness.
Proactive and fair. Fairness.
A willingness to help.
Sure.
providing solutions or being resourceful.
Oh, I love resourceful. God, y'all, that's a big one.
Competence isn't bad.
Knowledge. Y'all are hitting all my high points. Competence. These are all good. Anyone else?
I think being informative and like updating listening or
So like communication. Have I spelled anything wrong, y'all? Yeah. Y'all keep shouting them out if anybody has any. Hospitable. We got good hospitality down in the South. I was going to try to say hospitable, something. Hospitable. Hospitality.
At least with the font size, the spelling isn't so.
I know, thank you. Don't zoom in. Anything else? Well, we could sit here all day, right, and go through a list. I'm going to talk about a few of the ones that I think are important. You said this, competence. Knowledge is power, y'all. When you have the best training for what you're doing, you are going to be the most helpful to your customers, right? And especially in my job in the parent and family services office, we have to know a little bit about a lot, and it's so helpful when folks call looking for something. We're not in a myopic tunnel where we only have to answer the same question every day. I might have 40 different things a day that I have to answer, and I have to know a little bit about a lot. I may not know who to call, but I might know who to call to find out who I need to call, if that makes sense. But you've got to have knowledge of what your department is and what you're trying to do for your customer, or you're not going to have a very good relationship. The patience. Who said patience? I love that, because you have to practice patience. Who has called somewhere and had somebody answer the phone and they're impatient with them? You're trying to get an answer and they're not taking the time to answer you, or what do they do? I find this happens a lot. Put you on hold, or worse than that, transfer you to where? I don't know. I have talked to folks, y'all, that have been transferred 5 times, and then they get to us. We always tell parents and students to start with us, because then we'll try to get them to just one transfer.
I always tell them it stops here, because I will not transfer.
That's right. And do it warmly, right? Like, I call and get somebody on the phone, make sure I have the right place, and then I warm transfer them. I don't just send them into the abyss. So patience is definitely a big part of offering good customer service. How many people don't like it when somebody says, "That's not my job"? I mean, that's part of being patient, right? You might have to answer a question that is not your job. You've got to vet them. You've got to vet the person that's calling and see what they need and transfer them to the right place, or get them to the right place. I said, listen. Somebody else said, listen. These are my 3 top favorite ones, and I think they're actually all related, but who's ever heard the phrase, 2 ears, 1 mouth? 2 ears, 1 mouth. I have had it happen over and over again where somebody has called. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever called somewhere or shown up somewhere not quite knowing exactly what you want to ask? Like, you don't know what you're asking for, really. You need them with their knowledge of what they provide to help guide you through what you're really trying to ask. I have that happen a lot with me. I'll have a family call that, maybe needs something with scholarships, or they think they need something with scholarships, when in reality, if I take a few minutes to sit there and talk to them and vet through the conversation, I find out that it's really financial aid that they need, not scholarships. So just taking the time with the customers, being patient, having knowledge about not just your job, but the university as a whole is always going to be helpful in offering good customer service. Anybody? I'd say transfer blindly. I call that hot potato. Don't do that. Don't just transfer them to get them off your plate. You want your customers to be happy, right? So why is customer service important to your job? Y'all take a few minutes, our little handout, and write down some reasons why customer service, you providing quality customer service, would be helpful to you in your job. You got 2 minutes. We do it this way with y'all working some, because what I found in my 12 years at Mississippi State is that all of you have a lot of knowledge that needs to be imparted to each other, right? When we start talking about what we're doing and how it impacts our jobs, we talk to people about it and they talk to us about it. You start to share that knowledge, and it's helpful, I think. Does anyone want to share why customer service would be important to your job? Anyone?
With me, if I give good customer service, I advise. So if I give good customer service and have happy advisees, then they're going to listen better. And in my job, I need them to listen. So if they're happy, they're going to listen. If they're unhappy, then they're going to be thinking about the things they're unhappy about and not really listening to what I'm telling them.
That's right. That's very good. Anyone else? Why might customer service, providing good quality customer service,
First
help you?
impressions.
First impression?
If you're the person that answers the phone at the front of the office, or you're the first face that they see, if you're knowledgeable and friendly, that's their first impression of the organization.
Am I weird, or do y'all notice that? When you call and ask for someone, do you know, I'm always incredibly complimentary to a student worker's boss if they answer the phone and they say who they are, what department it is, if they say please hold, versus how frustrating is it to just get transferred without them saying anything. But the good manners go a long way, and that first impression might be all you have with that department. So I always make sure I'm very complimentary. I say, oh, you should train some customer service because your student worker is doing a really good job, or the person that answered the phone at the front is doing a really good job. I know y'all have some more information. Why else?
I work in research, and so if we have good customer service relationships, then we can obtain more funding, do more projects, obtain grants, things like that.
That's nice. Like you kill, what is the phrase? If,
Birds of one stone.
no, kill more bees. No, collect more bees or something. Catch more bees with honey. Catch more bees with honey. Right. When you're nice, it just goes a long way.
I also work in research, and kind of going along with that, I think it gives us more credibility when we have a good relationship with our customers.
Correct.
Even though we know we're credible, it just helps them to know when we're informative and friendly.
Like who wants to go back and work with somebody that has shown poor customer service? Do you want to call that department back? Do you want to do business with that department again? Probably not. Anyone else? Those were some that were important to me, and they've been said. Create a positive environment. Y'all, the happy you are at work, the better your work environment's gonna be, right? So when you're providing good customer service and folks are providing good customer service to you, then you're going to have a positive work environment. What's the opposite of that? I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work here. I don't like getting up and going to my job every day because it's not a positive work environment. That leads to happiness, right? Internal and external. You're going to be a happier employee and person if you're in a work environment that is providing good customer service. And then I love this one. So I don't know if everybody thinks like this, but how many of you know that when you have an experience that's positive with someone, that they are going to go talk about that? Or the opposite, when you have a poor experience with them, that they're going to go talk about that? I mean, it's free marketing. I think about the parents and the students that I deal with and talking to, let's say, a mom in Maryland that has sent her student states away to go to college, and whether she has a good experience with us or not is going to make or break her talking about us in the environment that she's in, and potentially lead to more students coming here. And I've had them say it over and over again. Like I talked to people in St. Louis, all my friends, and told them how wonderful Mississippi State is and that they should send their kids there. Well, what's the opposite of that? If you're not providing good customer service, those parents, those students, not that parents are paying for you to work here. They like to say that though. You are providing free marketing when you have good customer service to your customers. All right, Mr. Darrell, this is where you come in. We're going to do a little communication exercise. If you want to pass those out, maybe Austin pass out the other side. Okay, no cheaters. Has anyone ever done this? Oh, no telling. Sorry. You want to come lead it?
I don't remember what the answer was.
Okay. We're going to do a little communication exercise. All right. In the first quadrant, quadrant 1, I want you to place a dot on the letter I. Place a dot on the letter I in the first quadrant. In quadrant 2, I want y'all to print the word Xerox in the spaces provided. Yeah, Xerox, X-E-R-O-X. I want you to print the word Xerox in the space provided. That's in quadrant 2. Okay, in quadrant 3, PB stands for poppable, MB stands for mommable, and BB stands for baby bull. I need y'all to circle the one that doesn't belong.
Say it again.
Yes, same thing.
MB stands for Mama Bull, BB stands for Baby Bull, and PB stands for Papa Bull. So you have to circle the one that doesn't belong. I know, that's what I looked at Daryl like that when he asked me. Just circle one. Circle the one that doesn't belong. In quadrant 4, y'all need to spell 2 words with the letters that are provided. So quadrant 4, spell 2 words with the letters provided.
Can we reuse letters?
What's that?
Can we reuse letters?
You can do whatever you want based on the instructions I gave you. Spell 2 words using the letters shown. Y'all ready? I should have brought prizes.
Yeah.
You can come see me in my office. I'll give you a prize. Dun da da. Y'all ready? I did it 2 clicks just in case I got click happy. All right. Who has those answers? You probably got it right.
You know the 2 words.
Did you really? How many got 1 right? That guy? Okay. That's great. How many got 2 right? Don't lie, Brent. That's great. 3? You've already done it. Oh, okay. You got 3? You're a good communicator.
Is there MB, Mama Bull?
Oh, it didn't circle. I don't even know why it didn't show up. Mama Bull. Mama Bull doesn't belong. There's no Mama Bull. There's no Mama Bull, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'm sorry, I don't know why that she did little dots. I don't know why it's not circled. So Mama Bull. And then 2 words. I spelled sword. Did anybody spell sword? I did not do that right. But that is a good reason. I mean, that's a good example of communication and vetting through a communication with a customer, because I don't know if anybody in here is like married or has a partner, but I speak a different language than my husband. I can send him to the store to get Heinz ketchup and he comes home with Hunt's when I clearly said Heinz. So communication is key to having good customer service. And finally, and I'm going to talk a few about mine, I want y'all to think about 3 things you can do to improve your communication and your customer service in the days ahead, based on what we've talked about. How can you immediately start improving your customer service and communication? All right, anyone want to share how they could immediately start improving their communication? And what can you do to do that? What can you do to move forward and improve your communication? Anyone? What's that? Listening more. One of the things we talked about earlier, the 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen more.
Learning maybe everything that you can regarding your job at that where you work.
Yeah, the knowledge is power. Make sure that you know everything that you could possibly know. And it will not hurt y'all to know things other than you need to know, right? It will be helpful. I promise you, I answer calls every day and help people that do not belong in my office. They don't belong on my phone calling my office, but we figure it out together. I love that. I love that. John Cohen, FIO, something that's resonated with me since, my stepdaughter was in middle school. He gave a speech and he used to make his baseball players wear FIO on their wrists. And it was figure it out, that they're obstacles that we have to figure out. They're not problems, they're obstacles, and you can surmount them. Anyone else?
More personal, one-on-one instead of less emails.
Yeah.
Just go down there and see them in person.
Or pick up the phone. Y'all, stuff gets lost in transition with those emails, texts. Like having a face-to-face communication or even one on the phone can go a long way in explaining. You know, people we communicate differently. So I might write one sentence and somebody might read it entirely different. So, anyone else have examples of improving communication?
Yeah, I would say being there.
Being there.
Yeah, like being in the.
Present.
Yeah.
How many of us are distracted? Woo, I am. They call me Squirrel from Ice Age. I have a conversation with somebody and I'm like darty-eyed, you know. I have a very difficult time paying attention. I have to be an active listener. I might take notes, not like while we're talking at the soccer field or anything, but I have to actively listen or I find myself drifting off into outer space. Anyone? Am I the only squirrel in the room? So I like to seek common ground, and nobody's mentioned that today, but I think it's so important. One, does anybody deal with mad people all the time? Because I deal with mad people a lot. HR deals with mad people a lot. I can find common ground with somebody on the phone. It might be that, you know, my parents were born in Leland, Mississippi, and they live in Greenwood, and they're Delta people. It might be that I find something. I don't care. I dig and dig and dig until I find a connection with the person that I'm speaking to, because they talk to me. These parents and students and customers talk to me like I'm Mississippi State. I'm not Mississippi State. I'm CAT. And there's some dehumanization. I don't know if it's social media or the fact that they're behind a phone, but they are speaking at me instead of to me. And so if I find some common ground with them, it helps tremendously. They might not be happy at the end of the conversation still, but they're not mad at me. They're mad at the situation. And that can be very helpful from a customer service perspective in getting you to the next step, which is a solution, right? Let folks finish. I have a terrible time with that. I like to talk, I'm chatty. So you're saying a sentence to me, and halfway through your sentence, I start a new sentence. And I have a tough time with that. So that's something I've had to work on when I'm dealing with customers. I've got to let them finish. Not only do I have to let them finish, I have to be quiet after they finish to see if they have anything else. And at the end of being quiet, I have to ask them, what else? Is there anything else that you have on your mind that you want to talk about or that I can help you with? What else? That's all a part of letting them finish. But what happens when they call and they tell me something and I transfer them like a hot potato? I have not let them finish. I haven't even let them get started. And like I said, they may have called and asked a question that's totally erroneous to what they want in actuality. I've got to take the time to vet it and let folks finish. From a customer service perspective, what can y'all do right now to improve your ability to provide quality customer service?
Be happier, like cheerful, more.
I mean, just in general, nobody wants to call and get some curmudgeon on the phone and try to work through something, right? I call back, I just hang up and call back and get somebody else. Right? Just be happy, be joyful. Oh, there was actually a good quote. I don't know who Laurie McIntosh is, but she said, if you are serving a customer, not a life sentence, learn how to enjoy your work. Be happy. There's nothing worse than working with miserable people, helping miserable people, being miserable people trying to help maybe not miserable people, or maybe they're miserable too. You see where I'm going? Find joy in your work for sure. That's a good one. Someone else?
Be engaged.
Oh my God, Brent speaks. Thanks. Be engaging. Absolutely. Talking to somebody on the phone, trying to find an answer, and they are not present. They are not with you in the conversation. They are not engaged in what you're saying. They're not actively listening to you. How is that experience for you as a customer? It's frustrating.
continuing to learn, like you do. I work with a lot of different, my job has a lot of interaction with other departments, and so people call me, and I'm not really the one that can help them, but I'm trying to be better about learning all of, like, how account services works. Because yes, I post your study abroad charges on account services, but I don't know the inner workings of how account services works. Trying to learn all of that so they can have more of a one-stop shop.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we did it in our office. We deal with a lot of parents that are upset about scholarships, account services, financial aid. Well, we scheduled some training with those groups and got access to account services. And now we know enough to be dangerous. Like when I hear the student worker say, let me transfer you to financial aid, I say, no, transfer them to us. Let us vet through that the first time, because we may be able to answer the question. Honestly, 99% of the time we can answer the question because we've taken the time to go get trained with some outside groups that we work with. Anyone else have an example?
I think one of the most important things you can do is ask people what they want the outcome to be. Because sometimes they fuss about a lot of things, and you think you know where you're headed, but all they really want is something simple that you can do.
For sure.
Want to get it off their
I would say, or they don't want anything at all.
Sometimes they just
They just, as Thomas Bourgeois says, they just want to call and complain about their cable bill. That's fine, I'll listen. I complain about my cable bill. You know, sometimes they just want you to listen and there's no resolution, for sure. Sometimes there's simple resolution, sometimes there's no resolution. I have a tendency to go real fast and I've got to slow down. It's that squirrel tendency. So to provide better customer service, I've found that I need to slow down. I've said it 3 times today. Vet through what they're actually calling about so I'm sure that I understand how I can help them. A lot of the times I can help them, but I have to know what it is that they need help with. And then follow up. Yeah, I had a call the other day. This dad did not like me. I really think he didn't like his son, but he said, he sounded like he didn't like me. And honestly, I didn't really like him. He wasn't very nice. And I was frustrated with the call. And I transferred him where he needed to go to get the right answer because I was not very willing to help him out that day. Unfortunately, I was having a moment. But the next day, I was looking at my list because we track who we talk to and why we talk to them. And I thought, I'm going to call that guy back. And so I dialed his number and I called him back and I said, I just wanted to make sure that you got helped in account services or whatever yesterday and that you're good to go. And he could not have been nicer to me. He was so appreciative of the fact that I had taken a minute, and that's all it took, literally, like less than 120 seconds, that I had taken the time. I know that's not a minute, I know that's 2. But I had taken the time to just check in on him, and I'll tell you what, he thought differently about Mississippi State when he hung up that phone. Because the day before, we probably both could have, had a fight. But that day, he was very thankful that I took a second and called him back. Anyway, so slowing down, follow up. Oh yeah, I went back. There I go. Anyway, anybody have anything to add to that with customer service? Then here's where I tell you to go read this book. Has anybody done the Great Leap program that's sponsored by HRM? No one? You? 1, 2, 3, a few. Y'all should all apply for that. It's a fantastic program. But one of the things that they do in that program is read this book, Fred Factor. The Fred Factor is about providing really extraordinary customer service, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's doing it without needing to be recognized or receiving an award for it. It's doing it because, let me tell you, who's the happiest person in the world? Fred. Fred is so happy providing good customer service to everybody that he touches. So remember that. Read that book if you want. You'll learn more about customer service in Fred's book. And then question. This is where you can ask me anything you want. Well, not anything, but most things. Does anybody have any questions about customer service? I wanted y'all to take some time today to think about customer service, what it is and what it means to you, because it's different for everyone. And the meaning is different. Plus, y'all all had really good ideas about what it is, and I hope that sharing that with each other helped you decide where you want to go with customer service. I want you to all leave here and be Freds. Anybody have a question? Okay, then I am going to leave you with one quote, and I love this. Maya Angelou is one of my favorite, and she says, do the best you can until you know better, then when you know better, do better. So go out in the world and be a Fred. All right? Y'all know better. Thank you.